Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is about shipping terms, FOB shipping point, and FOB destination. Natakal na natin to last time pero pahapyaw lang. Ngayon ay tatakal natin to ng medyo detailed. What our objective for today is by the end of this lesson, you will be able to define FOB shipping point and FOB destination, and you will also explain when ownership transfer from seller to buyer under each term. We will also record transactions with shipping term in perpetual and periodic method and demonstrate fairness and responsibility and understanding and applying shipping terms in contractual agreement. Before we will proceed, let's have a short recall on the source documents that we have discussed way back pa. We have sales invoice. Sales invoice is a document issued by the seller to the buyer listing goods sold and their prices. Ito yung ini-issue ni seller kay buyer na proof na merong sale na naganap or merong transaction na naganap. Delivery receipt, it is a document confirming that goods had been received by the buyer. Ito yung document na nagpapatunay na natanggap na ni buyer yung item or ito rin yung nagpapatunay na na-deliver na ni seller yung item. Purchase order, ito naman yung document na binibigay ni buyer kay seller na nagre-request ng goods or service. Ito yung listahan ng mga order ni buyer. Official receipt, it is a document acknowledging payment received from the buyer. Ito yung document na nagpapatunay na mayroong bayaran na naganap between buyer and seller. I have here three questions. Which document proves goods were delivered? Okay, that is delivery receipt. It is proof that the goods were physically received by the buyer. How about this? Which documents record the sale? It is the sales invoice. How about which document accompanies shipped goods? It is the delivery receipt again. Now, typically, it accompanies the shipped goods in transit and it is used to confirm that the correct items were shipped and received in good condition. So, after the delivery has been made, the buyer will sign the delivery receipt as a proof na natanggap niya na yung item. Okay, I have here a scenario. ABC bookstore sold books worth 25,000 to XYZ school. Now, ang tanong, who will pay for the delivery expense? Is it ABC store or XYZ school? Then, should the seller always pays for the freight? Lagi bang si seller ang nagbabayad ng shipping fee? What determines who is responsible for shipping cost? Paano natin malalaman kung sino ang magbabayad ng shipping fee? Is it buyer or seller? So, meron tayong mga shipping terms. The first one is when ownership transfers from seller to buyer. Kailan matatransfer yung ownership ng item from seller to buyer? Pangalawa is sinong magbabayad ng shipping fee or ng transportation cost. Then, who bears risk of loss or damage during transit? Halimbawa, masira or madamage yung item while on transit. Sino ang magbabayad nun? Another one is responsibilities of both seller and buyer throughout the transactions. Ano yung responsibility ni buyer at ni seller while on transaction? So, meron tayong two types of shipping term. The first one is FOB shipping point or free on board shipping point. And the another one is FOB, destination. Kapag sinabi natin na FOB, shipping point, the ownership transfer to the buyer once goods leave the seller's warehouse. So, yung pagmamay-ari ng item ay nalilipat na kay buyer sa oras na umalis ito sa warehouse ni seller. Sa oras na nai-release na ito ni seller, ito ay pagmamay-ari na ni buyer. Yan ay for FOB, shipping point. Sino ang nagbabayad ng shipping fee kapag FOB shipping point? Si buyer. The buyer pays freight and bears all risks during transit. So if ever na ma-damage yung goods while in transit, yon ay pananagutan na ni buyer. Labas na si seller doon. For FOB destination naman, the ownership transferred to the buyer only when goods arrive at the buyer's location. So magiging pagmamay-ari lang ni buyer yung item once na natanggap na ni buyer, once na nakarating na yun sa destination. Sino ang nagbabayad ng shipping fee sa FOB destination? Si seller. And also, siya rin yung nagbe-bear ng risk during transit. So, kung FOB destination, um, ang risk or kapag nasira yung item, ito ay pananagutan pa rin ni seller. Kasi nga, hanggat hindi pa dumadating kay buyer yung item, wala pa siyang pananagutan doon sa item. Si seller pa yung nagmamay-ari nun. FOB shipping point, ownership transfers once goods leave the seller warehouse, and the buyer's responsibility is to pay all the freight and transportation charges. Again, sa FOB shipping point, si buyer ang magbabayad ng shipping fee. Si buyer din ang nagmamay-ari ng goods habang ito ay binabiyahe from the seller. Si buyer din ang magsi-shoulder ng risk, no, kapag nasira or na-damage yung item in transit. So, the key points here, ownership transfer upon shipment. Take note for the word shipment, FOB shipping point. The moment goods leave the seller's location, they belong to the buyer na. And if goods are damaged while in transit, the buyer bears the loss. So, wala nang pananagutan si seller kapag nawala yung item while in transit. Okay, yan ay sa FOB shipping point. Sa FOB destination naman, the ownership transfers only when goods reach the buyer's location. Matatransfer lang yung ownership kapag na-deliver na yung item kay buyer. Sino naman ang nagbabayad? Si seller ang nagbabayad ng shipping fee. Si seller din ang nagmamay-ari ng goods not until na i-deliver na kay buyer. And then, seller bears risk of loss or damage during transit. Siya din yung mag-shoulder kapag nawala or nasira yung item during transit. Buyer receives ownership upon delivery. So, key point, ownership transfer upon delivery papunta na sa destination kapag nakarating na sa destination and not upon shipment. So if goods are damaged in transit, the seller bears the loss under FOB destination term. Okay, let's compare again. Comparison feature, sino ang magbabayad? Kaninong pagmamay-ari na yung item while on transit? Kailan matatransfer yung ownership ng item? Sino ang magbe-bear ng risk? And another one is kaninong accounting entry mapupunta yung shipping fee. Okay, for FOB shipping point, syempre ang magbabayad ay si buyer. Tama. Who owns goods in transit? Si buyer din. Siya na yung nagmamay-ari ng item while on transit. Kailan naman natatransfer ang ownership? Upon shipment, kapag na-release na ni seller yung item, si buyer na yung may-ari ng item. Who bears transportation risk? Si buyer din. Anything na may mangyari sa item while on transit or habang nasa biyahe, pananagutan na yon ni buyer. Labas na si seller. Freight recorded as debit inventory. For shipping point, nire-record ito sa accounting book ni buyer as inventory or dagdag sa inventory. It depends pala kasi we have different recording with kapag perpetual at periodic. Sa FOB destination naman, who pays the freight? Si seller. Sino naman ang nagmamay-ari ng goods while in transit? Si seller pa din. Okay, kailan nata-transfer ang ownership? Upon delivery. Kapag nakarating na kay buyer yung item, saka lang mata-transfer yung ownership. Sino ang magbabear ng transportation risk? Si seller. Dahil pagmamayari niya pa yung item habang nasa transit. Then, kanina naman mare-record tong book? Kaninong book ma-record yung shipping fee? Of course, kung sino ang nagbayad, dahil ang nagbayad dito ay si seller, sa kanyang books ma-record and it is recorded as freight out, debit, freight out, or delivery expense. Paano nga ba nire-record yung shipping sa accounting? Sa FOB shipping point, it is recorded in the buyer's book. Debit, inventory, or freight in. Depende kung perpetual or periodic. Credit, if it is cash basis, of course, credit is cash. If it is on credit, then therefore it is um, accounts payable. Freight cost is added to the cost of inventory, and the buyer owns the goods in transit and bears all the freight charges. For FOB, destination naman, ito naman, dahil si seller ang magbabayad ng shipping fee, therefore, sa book to ni seller. So, ang i-debit natin is freight out or delivery expense. And if it is a cash basis, then ang i-credit natin ay cash. Freight out is recorded as a selling expense in the seller's income statement, and the seller retains ownership and bears all the transportation cost until goods reach the buyer. In merchandise business, freight means the transportation cost of moving merchandise from the seller to the buyer. So, the easiest way to remember the difference is kapag freight in, it is buying in or bumibili ka ng item, and freight in is the cost, yung pagdadala ng item papasok doon sa iyong negosyo. Freight out is when you are selling or kapag nagbebenta ka at yung delivery cost na binabayaran mo is bayad papalabas para mailabas or para mai-deliver yung item doon kay customer. Okay? So again, it is related, pag freight in, it is related to purchases. Ikaw ang bumili ng item at binabayaran mo yung freight in para madala sa'yo yung item. Under the periodic system, freight in is commonly recorded in separate freight in account and is added to purchases when determining cost of goods available for sale. So, kapag sa perpetual, ang freight in ay isinasama sa cost ng inventory, sa periodic naman, meron siyang separate account na freight in. Example, ABC store buys merchandise from a supplier for 20,000 and pays 1,000 freight. So, si ABC daw ay bumili ng merchandise. So, siya yung buyer. Magkano yung worth ng merchandise? 20,000. And nagbayad ng 1,000 for freight. Dahil papasok ito kay ABC store, siya ay freight in. So, merchandise is 20,000. freight in is 1,000. So total cost associated with acquiring the merchandise is 21,000. Okay, para mas may maalala kapag in, merchandise coming into the business. While freight out is the transportation cost incurred when a business ships merchandise to its customer. It is associated with sales. Kapag ikaw ay nakabenta, that is freight out. It is a selling distribution expense. It is not added to the cost of the merchandise purchased. Hindi to ay dinadagdag sa cost ng merchandise. Example, ABC store sells merchandise to a customer for 30,000 pesos and pays 1,500 delivery cost. The 1,500 is freight out because the merchandise is going out of the business to the customer dahil ang shipping fee ay binayad at ang item ay palabas sa iyong negosyo, that is freight out. Remember, if it is out, merchandising is going out to the customer. Let's have a comparison of freight in and freight out. Direction, kapag freight in, papasok sa negosyo. Kapag freight out, palabas, papunta sa customer. Kapag freight in, it is related to purchases o pagbili ng product. Kapag naman freight out, it is related to sales or benta. Ang freight in ay bayad sa pagdadala ng merchandise papasok sa negosyo. Ang freight out naman ay bayad for delivering merchandises to customer. Ang freight in ay nire-record sa accounting book as part of merchandise acquisition cost, while in freight out, it is recorded as selling or distribution expense or delivery expense. Okay, to remember it, in meaning papasok or purchase, out ay palabas or sale. Let's have an example. We will have FOB shipping point perpetual method. ABC Trading purchased merchandise worth 25,000 on account from XYZ supplier, and the terms is FOB shipping point. The buyer paid 1,200 freight in cash. So, magkano yung worth ng inventory or ng merchandise? So, sa perpetual, ang tawag natin sa merchandise is inventory. And it is worth 25,000 at dahil ito ay papasok, yung merchandise ay papasok sa ating negosyo, that is debit, 25,000. At dahil ito ay binili using on account or utang, that is credit, and the account is accounts payable. Now notice that we have another inventory account which cost 1,200, and that is the shipping fee. Okay, in perpetual method, we um, include the shipping fee in inventory cost. So inventory is 1,200, and since the shipping fee is paid in cash or binayaran ng cash, therefore ang credit natin ay cash. Okay? Inventory worth 25,000 refers to the merchandise na binili, while the inventory na worth 1,200 refers to the delivery cost or the shipping fee. Now, let's proceed to periodic method naman. Same problem, how will we record it in periodic method? Purchases in periodic method, ang tawag natin sa merchandise is purchases. So, purchases worth 25,000. And then, since it is on account, accounts payable, credit 25,000. And the freight in is 1,200. And cash na binayad sa shipping fee is 1,200. So, ano yung pagkakaiba ng perpetual at ng periodic? The first one, sa perpetual, gumamit tayo ng word na inventory para sa merchandise, while in periodic, we use purchases. Sa perpetual, we use the word inventory sa ating shipping fee, while in periodic, we use the word freight in. Because freight in periodic method is a separate account. Example number 2. Ngayon naman is FOB destination perpetual method. So, sold merchandise for 45,000 pesos on account and cost 27,000 pesos. Paid 1,500 delivery charges in cash under FOB destination. So, FOB destination, si seller ang magbabayad ng shipping fee. How it will be recorded in the book. So, dahil on account, may utang si customer, ang account na gagamitin is accounts receivable. So, meron kang inaantay na pera meron kang inaantay na magbabayad sa iyo, that is account receivable, 45,000. At dahil ito ay nakabenta, the account is sales, no? Another account is sales, credit 45,000. Now, we have the COGS or cost of goods sold. Magkano yung cost ng item? 27,000. At dahil naglabas tayo ng inventory, dahil nakabenta tayo, na ilabas natin yung item, that is 27,000 worth ng inventory. For shipping fee, ang tawag natin doon is freight out dahil nagbayad tayo ng shipping fee palabas sa ating negosyo. So, 1,500 debit, freight out, at ang cash na nilabas natin is 1,500 credit. So, that is for perpetual method. How about in periodic method? So, in periodic method, we have same problem, accounts receivable 45,000, sales 45,000, freight 1,500, freight out 1,500, and cash 1,500. So what is the difference between periodic and perpetual? So balikan natin yung perpetual. Ayun, sa perpetual method, merong cost of goods sold and inventory. While in periodic, walang cost of goods sold and inventory. Example number 3, FOB shipping point perpetual method. So another example, ABC Trading purchased merchandise worth 40,000 for cash, and the business paid 1,500 freight in cash to bring the merchandise to its store. So, sa ABC Trading ang bumili ng merchandise. So, therefore, nagkaroon siya ng inventory worth 40,000. And dahil ito ay cash basis, ang makikredit natin is 40,000 cash. At dahil ito ay binayad or palabas ng business yung cash, that's why it's credit. Again, the freight in charge is named inventory in perpetual method. Another inventory account 1,500 and cash na dinabas natin pambayad ng shipping fee is 1,500. So bali dalawang inventory account. The first inventory is for the merchandise, the second inventory is for the shipping fee. That is for perpetual method. Now, for the periodic method again, same scenario, nagbumili ng 40,000 worth of items. So, purchases is 40,000 and cash 40,000 credit. So, sa periodic, hindi natin ginagamit yung word na inventory as an account, but we use purchases. And then freight in 1,500 and cash 1,500. Ano ulit yung pagkakaiba ng perpetual and periodic method? Sa perpetual, inventory kasama sa inventory yung shipping fee, yung 1,500 na nasa baba. While in periodic, ang tawag sa shipping fee ay freight in. Okay, example number 4, FOB destination perpetual method, cash basis din. So, sold merchandise for 50,000 pesos on cash. The cost of the item is 32,000. Paid 1,800 delivery charge in cash under FOB destination. Kapag FOB destination, sino ulit ang magbabayad ng delivery fee? Si seller. Okay. So, dahil tayo ay nakabenta, merong pumasok na cash sa ating negosyo. That's why cash is debit. And benta or sales is credit, 50,000. Magkano daw yung cost of goods sold natin? 30,000. At magkano yung worth ng inventory na lumabas? Okay, 32,000 also. And freight out yung bayad natin sa delivery charges. And then the cash na lumabas or binayad natin is 1,800 credit. Now let's proceed to periodic. Periodic method, same problem. Nakatanggap tayo ng 50,000 na cash, so that's why it's debit cash. May benta tayo na 50,000, so that is credit. And freight out or the shipping fee is 1,800. And yung cash naman na nilabas natin is 1,800 credit. Ano yung difference ng perpetual and periodic? Okay, sa perpetual, because it is a sold merchandise, meron tayong COGS and inventory. While here in periodic method, wala tayong COGS and inventory. Okay, perpetual versus periodic system recording. FOB shipping point, buyer's entry dahil si buyer yung magbabayad ng shipping fee. In perpetual method, shipping fee is included in the inventory. So kung ang cost ng item is 20,000 and the shipping fee is 1,500, therefore the total inventory is 21,500. The cash na ilalabas per payment, yun yung makikredit ay 21,500. Freight cost is capitalized and added directly to the inventory account. While in periodic system naman, debit, purchase 20,000, debit again, freight in 1,500, credit, cash 21,500. Notice that purchases and freight in are separated. While on the perpetual, sinama na sila sa inventory, the merchandise, and the shipping fee. Sa periodic, sila ay magkahiwalay. Perpetual freight merge into inventory, while periodic freight in recorded separately and closed at the period end or accounting period. Okay, why is it important to specify shipping terms in a business transaction? And which shipping term benefits the buyer more and which benefits the seller more and why? Why is owner transfer important in accounting and recording of transactions? So I want you to answer this question. Okay, bakit mahalaga na ma-specify yung shipping term in a business transaction? Ano yung shipping term na magbe-benefit kay buyer? Ano yung shipping term na magbe-benefit kay seller? And why is ownership transfer important in accounting and recording of transaction? Okay, answer this in a one whole sheet of paper. But it's not the end, no? Meron pa tayong sasagutan later. For our real-world application, business prefers FOB shipping point when mas prefer daw ni seller ang FOB shipping point kasi si buyer ang magbabayad nun. Of course, makakaligtas na si seller ng shipping fee. Okay, and then the seller wants to minimize freight cost and post-shipment liability. Kapag na-ship na yung item, wala nang liability si seller. Wala na siyang hindi wala na siyang pakialam kahit na masira or madamage yung item while in goods, ay while in transit, wala na siyang pakialam kasi sa FOB shipping point, pagmamay-ari na yun ni buyer once na nai-release na ni seller. Transaction involves bulk or standard goods where risk transfer is straightforward. So, medyo risky kapag, yun nga sa pagdi-deliver, no, sa, ano, so, mas maginhawa kay seller kapag FOB shipping point. Kasi kapag nailabas siya na yung item, ano na, relieve na siya sa kanyang responsibility. But, um, sometimes, no, uh, gusto din ni seller ng FOB destination. Why? Unang-una, ginagamit nila yung free shipping para marami silang mga buyer, para maka-attract ng buyer. And of course, if there is if the seller is concerned with the item, um hangga't hindi na i-de-deliver yung item kay buyer, kailangan make sure niya na maayos yung delivery ng item. So, sa FOB destination, hangga't hindi nakakarating kay buyer yung item, pagmamay-ari pa siya ni seller. So, kailangan ma-make sure ni seller na maayos yung item hangga't hindi pa nakakarating kay buyer. Okay, in choosing the right shipping term, protects both parties and directly impact freight cost, risk, and accounting records. And we should always specify terms in the sales agreement. So, kailangan naka-specify yung terms kapag tayo ay nakipag-negotiate ng business. Either is it FOB, shipping point, or FOB, destination. So, for your assessment, again, you have to answer these three questions na na-discuss ko rin naman after. So, answer these three questions and then answer these questions also. Identify whether each situation describes FOB shipping point or FOB destination. So, you will just write FOB shipping point or FOB destination. Then, record the transaction. So we have 4 transaction and record it in the back of the one whole sheet. So kanina yung tatlong item tsaka yung tatlong questions na processing questions ay sa harap tsaka itong 5 sa harap ng yellow pad. Another task is to record transaction. Record nyo yung transaction na to, itong 4 na to. Determine kung ano-ano yung mga accounts na kailangan, is it debit or credit. So, just like you're recording in a journal, pero ilalagay yon sa yellow pads. Okay? So, ilang items yan? 4 items for recording, 5 items in determining the shipping term, and 3 items for the processing question. So, you have to submit that later on. I will chat sa GC natin kung kailan isa-submit or ano yung deadline. Okay, any question, just message me in our GC. For extended learning or enrichment activity, okay, research assignment, online shipping practice. Choose one online shopping platform. I know for sure meron sa inyo nagsha-Shopee, Lazada, or TikTok shop. May mga bumibili. Now, investigate and answer the following. Who pays the shipping fee? Is it the buyer or seller? And when do seller offer free shipping to buyers? Kailan nag-offer ng free shipping si seller kay buyer? And when do shipping terms affect the customer's total cost? Does the platform use FOB shipping point or FOB destination practices? How does the platform handle damage or lost items during delivery? And what policies protect the buyer if goods are not received? So, ano ba yung mga policy ng mga online store na to? So, just choose one, TikTok, Shopee, or Lazada. Okay, that's all for today. And then for your exit ticket, complete the following sentence. I now understand that shipping terms are important because blank. Okay, think about how FOB shipping point and FOB destination affects ownership, who pays the freight charges under each term, and how shipping terms impact accounting records and business decision. So, the exit ticket, no need to put it in the yellow pad. So, be ready lang sa ating discussion kapag nag-resume na yung ating class. So, that's all for today. Hope you learned something new and mag-chat na lang po sa GC. Goodbye, everyone!